Hi guys, so last time we left off, I'd used the Kimura trap to take my opponents back. So today we're just going to look at hand fighting and the way that I can break down his defenses to get the choke that I want. So we finished up in this position. So I had both of my hooks in and I dropped my opponent to one side. This is realistically where the position is going to start from. So the difficulty here comes from the fact that I've got a choking arm, which is the arm that's over the top of his shoulder, and a control arm, which is underneath his armpit, which controls him so that he can't move away from me very well. Which means I only have one option to attack him, or one arm to attack him, where he has two to defend. He's got both arms that he can try and stop my choke from. So it's going to be a problem. I always have one arm against two. If I take this arm out, and now I can try both arms choke him, I've got no control of his body, and he can move around quite freely now. So I've got two attacking arms, but he can now move, so I can't control him long enough to attack him. So, how do I get rid of his arms? So, firstly, I need to make sure my position's secure. So what I mean by that, if he's going to get out of this position, he's basically going to do it by taking this foot to the floor and walking his body weight over my legs. So you just walk your bum over the top of my legs. Once he's over the top there, he just puts his back to the floor and my choke is gone. I can't choke him from here. So I need to protect my bottom hook. So I do that by raising it higher than normal. So instead of having my feet here, this bottom hook comes up high. And this one just stomps the hip here. Second, my head position is important. If at any point his head gets to the other side of my head, so you go here, there's no choke. Anytime this happens, everything I'm doing stops, and I literally just take his head and bring it back to this side. So this is where I need to go for the choke. I get my ear close to his head here. Throughout the whole of this position, my ear has to be close to his ear. As I talk, I'm going to come back this way so I don't muffle myself on his shoulder. But in reality, I would never leave this position here. I have to be here the whole time. As I go to attack the choke with this hand, I know that he's going to defend. He's going to stop my hands. So he starts to grab my hands here. I'm not worried at the moment about this hand. This is the primary defensive hand. This hand here is not really doing much in terms of stopping the choke. So the difference, watch, if he removes his hand completely and just grip this as tight as you can, look, he can stop the choke. Pull down, don't let me choke you. Hard as you can, look. He can stop me choking him. If he takes this hand away and grabs me with the other hand, try your best to stop me choking you, look, it's nothing, I get to the choke. Yeah. So all of the defense is coming from this hand. So why do I not need to worry about it? It's too early to worry about it. I let him hold this hand. So I act like I want the choke, he's defending here. My primary goal is to get his other hand with this hand. So from here, I find his other hand and I control. What I really want is this, where I have control of both of his hands. But if he's grabbing my arm here, he's holding my arm exactly where I need it to be. So I don't worry, I let him hold my arm. While he's worrying about this, so I'm threatening this. This arm brings his hand down to his belly button, so he doesn't think about it. And then my foot comes over the top, retrieves his arm, and takes it away. Now he tries to take that arm out, it's going to go nowhere. So now we have the last piece of the puzzle is getting rid of this hand. So again, I'm threatening here, he can still defend the choke with this arm. So that's where this hand comes in and retrieves his hand. Now I have one choking arm and he has nothing to defend apart from putting his chin to his chest. His chin is his last line of defense. Obviously that's not a great defense, because if he puts his chin down to his chest and I'm mean, I just go straight across the face and then crush his face. But assuming that I want to get a clean choke, he puts the chin down. Look what I do. Instead of trying to faff around with his head, I take my hands, I go behind his ear, and I just follow his ear along, because underneath his ear is his jawline. So I find his jawline and I just fish this through until I get underneath the neck. Now he has no hands to defend. I've got my choking arm in position here. But how do I finish? I don't really need to let go of this arm, because if I do, straight away this arm is going to grab my arm and start to defend again. So keeping this here, I take my hand onto the back of his shoulder, and instead of arching my back, all I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my elbow back and across like I'm trying to put it behind his shoulder like this. So take this one nice and slow, I've got this, grip onto his shoulder, keep my head close to his head, and start to pull this back until he taps. So it's called the straight jacket system. The idea is to systematically take away one defensive tool at a time until you're left with an arm that's free to choke your opponent.